Hello everyone, welcome back to Center Stand Mechanics. My name is Kyle, and today we're going to be working in the shop. I got a small little problem with this Yamaha Virago. We bought this bike last year sometime, and we haven't really ridden it yet. I bought it for my wife for $1,000, and I just needed a few little things, but turned into, rebuilding the carbs, and it turned into dirty fuel tanks, which turned into, all the fuel lines had to be replaced, and it's like this onion. We just keep peeling layers off it. But I've only ridden it once, and it died on me. I got out about maybe not even 2 miles from home, and it started starving for fuel. And then I managed to suck and blow on the fuel line and try to get some fuel, and I barely made it home. Luckily, I had my Leatherman on me because I didn't even take any tools. I forgot my phone and everything that day. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like literally gonna be stranded, but I had my Leatherman on me. I managed to get the fuel line off, and I blew and blew and blew and tried to get the blockage clear. I finally got a dribble of fuel that comes through, and with a lot of, on and off with the key and everything, I barely made it home. So then after that, it's been parked, and I've cleaned the fuel tanks out. So I'll just show you the bike. So this bike has kind of like the main tank, and it's got this other auxiliary tank down under here. And so this one flows into this one, and then that gets pumped out of this smaller auxiliary tank through this fuel pump here and into the carburetors. And both tanks had to be cleaned out. I used like this 30% vinegar, and let it soak in there for a bit, sloshed it all around, got it out, and it stripped the rust out of it pretty good. That's a pretty good way of doing it for cheap. That stuff doesn't cost a whole lot, and it's just vinegar. It's not super toxic or anything. And so that was a good way of doing that. Got that all cleaned up, replaced all the fuel lines because they were all dried and cracked, and put a new fuel filter on it. And so where I'm at now is I got it all ready to go, and basically it was running. I've already had these carbs apart, by the way. I rebuilt them. I put new diaphragms in, new carb kit. Everything's tickety-boo there. And then, so after getting all this cleaned up, it was running fine. I was literally like, put my helmet on and was gonna go, and it just died right then and there. And I was like, wow, that's weird. I don't know what that's all about. And one thing I noticed is when I turned the key on, you couldn't hear the fuel pump cycling. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. So I checked everything, and there's power to the fuel pump. And so basically, if you pull the fuel line off here, where it goes right into the carb, it'll pump fuel out, no problem. But put it on, it pressures up, and the fuel pump shuts off because it's pressured up. So, and then if you take this drain plug out, there's no fuel in here. So and it's the same on both carbs, which is really bizarre. Like, so both carbs, the fuel needle stuck for some reason, and I put new needles and seats and all that stuff in it. So the only thing I can think of is after I cleaned the fuel tanks out, there must have been some really fine rust or something in there, got past the filter, went into the float needles, and then just jammed them shut. It's the only thing that makes sense. I tried getting on here with an air hose, and I was squirting air in here and air and trying to break it free, and I couldn't get anything to flow. And unfortunately, these float bowls, I can't get the bowls off when they're installed on the bike, so I gotta take them off and and look into it. So that's kind of what I want to do today, because other than that, this bike's like ready to go. It needs new tires and it needs a fork seal, but you know, as far as like actually riding it for the first time without it dying, that would be pretty cool. I know my wife's been itching to ride this bike and take it out, and you know, it's a pretty cool bike. It's dusty from sitting around outside because of all the construction and everything that we've been doing outside. Everything gets dusty here right now, but a little bit of soap and water will fix that. So yeah, well, no time like the present. Might as well get started on it. Just get these carbs off and see what's going on with it. All right, so I've got you on my tripod today because I actually broke my the thing that I wear here. I forgot that I broke that, so I'm gonna try something new today. I usually like having it here because it's easy. I got my hands free and I don't have to mess with this. But anyways, so here we go, trying new things on the channel. Okay, so where do we start? Well, it's been a while since I had this off, so I think I'll just get this kind of out of the way. Tuck that up here. Sorry about my arms. I'm not used to using this tripod. Okay, I think I remember last time I had to loosen this tank off a bit once I already was, because I think you have to lift it up a little bit. Just enough to get the screwdriver in here, I do believe. Stick a piece of wood in here. There. I think we just need to lift that up just a little bit so you can see the screw right here. Hopefully that's got it. And I don't know. Here, let's try this. I'll try the bottom one first. I wish it was more like that. Or maybe over here would be better. Let's see if we can get this off. There we go. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna pull this off. There we go. Okay. Throttle cable out. Take this fuel line off. Let's see what comes out of here. Yeah, that's the problem. Let's see. That's all. It's looking a little better now. Yeah, so that first part was a lot more orange in it. This isn't too bad. Yeah, it's looking better now. It's more like color gasoline. Still a little bit red though. Huh. Yeah, that's a problem. Now I'll take this side off and then we'll go to the other side. See what's going on. This side still has this part of the air cover on there. I'm gonna go see if I can get these hoses off on the other side and then I can pull this through, I think. Oh, these should just wiggle out. There. Oh, yeah. It's kind of stiff. Should probably think about changing those. They're just vacuum lines, but still. Get that out of the way. Get this choke cable out of the way. But you can see how red color that fuel is. So there's obviously still rust getting past the filter. Like there's no chunks in it, but there's rust in it, you know, and I think that's somehow plugged all this up. I mean, you could coat the inside of the tank with a thing, but I've done that before on other tanks, and it starts to delaminate and it creates an even bigger mess. So it's I don't know what to do. It's got to be a, and it's not like the tank's super bad or anything. Like there's bad, like where it's all scaly and it's, you know, it's gonna leak. This one's not quite that bad. I'll have another look in there. If anything, it's probably this one down here is where all the stuff is coming out of. But okay, so then we take the fuel line off of here. juice. Okay. Yeah. If I remember correctly, one of these intake boots has to come off, and I believe it's this one on the far side of me here. So I'm gonna So theoretically, I think we gotta take this intake manifold off, but I think, how does this work? I think I gotta pop it away first and then take the intake. So we should be able to get this carb off now. There. And then take this off, something like that. For some reason I can't turn this. I'm taking the screw right out so this thing can clear. Yeah, they don't make it easy getting this stuff off sometimes. The carb is basically off. I just gotta figure out a way to get it snuck out of here somehow. Yeah, so you sneak this thing out like that, and then you should be able to get this out. Can't remember how I did it last time. Maybe you take this bolt out, that might be. Just don't drop anything down the intake. I think that's the trick. And once the stud's out of the way, it should be able to see there's all these pieces on here. You don't want that to drop down in there. And now that that's out of the way, is it gonna clear? What is going on here? It's like, would get past all of that. Oh, this looks like I'm taking out the other intake. I just don't see how this would come out. Like I've been told it'll come out, but no, I just don't see how it'll come out without taking that intake. So first I'll take the screw out to give me room. This is quite the puzzle, eh? Because without taking the screw out, this can't back out. You know? I mean, they were kind of nice by putting like this part on the other side is slotted, so you only have to loosen it and it should come off. But this one is got a hole through, so you have to undo the whole bolt, and then it should just slide out. So I guess they were kind of trying to be nice, because it's really hard to, you know, get it in there. Okay, and then this should come out. There. Now the carb will come out. There. Alright, let's go take these over to the bench and see what went wrong. Okay, let's open these up and see how bad they are. We'll do this one first. I'm sorry about my big arms in the way. I don't have my chest camera position going. Body cam. I like the body cam. So I suspect these are probably all packed full of that red material, rust, or gummed up in some way. Yeah, look at that, dry. Dry as a bone. So I couldn't get these to budge. You see if I can get you real close. Here, I'll bring it up to you here. So if you look, the float needle's not moving at all, it's stuck. It's not the float, it's the needle itself. I mean, the float will come right out like so. Like so. I think. Don't want to wreck anything. There we go. But the needle is stuck in there. I gotta get a pair of pliers. Yeah, it's like it's glued itself in there. There. Oh, I mean, it doesn't look damaged. The spring still works on the little This little springy tab here gets overlooked a lot. And you gotta make sure this little thing here is springy. Because if it's not, your carbs will most likely overfill and spill. Okay, so this basically is the needle seat here, and I'm just gonna pop it out and see if there's any junk in behind this. And I'm not sure why it glued itself shut, because this is all, yeah, so that's flowing fine. Doesn't appear to be any junk in behind there, so that's a good sign. As far as the rest of the carburetor is concerned, it doesn't look too bad. Just couldn't get fuel into it. You can see it was bone dry. Okay, I'm just going to pop this other side off. Again, bone dry. You can see some really fine material in there, but again, the float needle is stuck. So I can't pull this out. So getting onto it with some pliers there. So now it's unstuck. And then the little springy pin is good. And probably the same. So I don't know why they stuck in there. It must have been something to do with the maybe the vinegar residue. Maybe it needed to be flushed out more. And the rust. So that's clear. Yeah, really strange. I just got a little bit of carb cleaner here. Q-tip, see if I can't just sweep out this seat a little bit. I just cleaned that out. Had a bunch of loose material in it. I don't think any of the jets are plugged, because it was running great and then it just, that was it, then it just stopped. And I think it was because it didn't get fuel, and it was the needle, the float needle just stopped letting fuel in. Something gummed up there. There, got that moving in there. Okay, I'm gonna hook the other side up. Okay. Do a little blow test. Make sure that's working. I'll just put a little bit of fuel line on here and then just blow through. Oh yeah, so you can hear. It's working good. That one's working good. So that should do it. Make sure this is all cleared off. Make sure there's no junk on here. That should be good. And then keep in mind, guys, I did rebuild these carbs already. That's why I'm not taking them all apart. There just wasn't getting any fuel, so those float needles were stuck. They're just glued in there somehow. Old gas or something to do with that rust. just making sure there's no crumbs on the gasket surface. I'm going to check this one here. Make sure there's nothing in there. Definitely going to purge the lines a little bit before I get them on here. Engines outlast the fuel tanks on these bikes, or so it seems. Okay. Just going to pop this little bolt out and clean off the manifold gasket surface here, because there's a little bit of RTV. I've already done the other side, but I just want to, because I'm going to have to reseal this. Doesn't take much. Try to get this all picked off. Just using my fingernail and get this cleaned off. I've already cleaned the little manifold boots of all this stuff too, and I've cleaned the there's an O-ring. I'll show you in a minute. Just want to kind of get all that stuff off of there. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, this here, there's a little O-ring here, and I've cleaned all this stuff off on both sides. And just going to put another little bit on there just to help it out. This O-ring feels good, actually. I took it out and it's still really pliable, and you can feel it sticks past the surface all the way around. So pretty happy about that. So as far as I can tell, the easiest thing to do is to stick this one in first before everything else goes on. Again, don't drop it down there, you'll be sorry. And then try to get it just tight enough. That's all the way, so I'm gonna back it out a bit. So this thing should tuck up into it like that. So I'm just backing it out a little bit, because these are a pain to get when the carb's in there. When you're trying to turn it all the way in, it's a real pain. So I'm going to slide the carb in, and then I'll get this one started, because once it's in, it's really hard to get this one. So once it went, like, I'll get the carb in here while it's crooked. I'll start this one just like this one, and then I'll get them in, and I think that's the plan. Like this. And the fuel line goes up above it, like so. Something like that. And then I'll go around, I'm going to start that bolt over there. Because trust me, I've learned the hard way about that bolt. It's a real pain. So this is the little bolt I'm talking about. And then while this carb's loose, you kind of want to get this in there. And of course, don't drop anything down the intake. That's the problem, is it's so hard to get your hands in here. So if I can get this started. From what I can tell, maybe there's an easier way of doing this, but from what I can tell, you can't get this carb out without taking this bolt right out, because it gets caught on everything. And it's almost impossible to tighten up when the carb's in place. See, I'm just struggling just to get my hands in here now. There. So if you can get this started to the point where you can slip this thing in, that's what you want. I'm just going to test it for depth here before I get all the goo on it and it doesn't fit. Something like that. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to pull this back out so I can put some RTV on it. Okay. So I'll do the other side first. So here's the bolt for it, and so you just get this out of the way. I should tuck up into there like so, and then this bolt should go in here. Just tightening down that manifold. Like so. Then I'm going to go around the other side here and tighten it up. Well, the carb's loose, because that's the only way to get at it. Okay, so I just tightened up the far side bolt on this, because you have to do it with the carb loose, because you can't get in there once it's up close. And then this one is now tight. So now I could do the same on the other intake manifold, and then once it's tight, I should be able to slip the carbs on. So we'll go to the other side now. Well, there's probably a better way of doing this. I'm not sure. This is just kind of what I'm seeing on the fly here. So I've opened that up like that. Turn that around. Get some RTV. And then just put it around here. Yeah, so that looks like this. So And then you take this slotted part and get it up into here. I can get the carb out of the way. There. And that should fit in there. And then this bolt should go in. Get these bolts. Can't get onto them straight. They're extra hard. Get that one tight. So now I'll go around and tighten. Or do I? So now I gotta see if I can't get this carb in. There we go. There. I think it's on. I'm just going to put this screw in here. I'm not going to go tight yet because I want to see if I can pry these on a little bit better. Plus I have to tighten up the bolt on the back side still. Still looks like there's a little bit of room to go. So here I'll put this, start this screw up too. Alright, so that's just starting to get tight. So I want to see if I can't get like a soft piece of wood and just pry that a little bit. See if I can't pop that on. I got to be careful, obviously, not to break anything, but just want to give it a little more pressure. Yeah. So I'm just gonna, it's moving in a little bit there. So I'm just gonna pry that in just a bit and then tighten this down. And see if I can get it to stay like that. I don't like where this clamp is located here. I don't know if I can There we go. That's better. Let's try that again. So in here is that last bolt I have to tighten down. It's the intake manifold bolt. It's still a little bit loose, but you gotta get it. Well, the getting's good, because otherwise it'll be covered up. There's a tube that goes here and you won't see it. There. Okay, so that's tight. Now I'll move around to the other side and see if we can get that clamp on. Just giving it a little pressure to help feed that carb on a bit more. Just getting that clamp exactly where I want it. Okay. Oh boy. Look up the spark. There. Throttle cable doing throttle cable things. Choke cable's got to go in on the other side. Okay, so that's on. Next I'm gonna flush out this fuel lights here. Okay, so now I'm gonna take a look at this fuel filter behind this cover and probably change it. I'm thinking at least try to drain some gas out. There goes one of the screws. And yeah, just try to get a handle on this rust in the fuel. I've got some sea foam I might throw in there too and just try to see if that can help. Whoops. Okay. So yeah. Doesn't look the greatest, so I'm gonna change this out. Let's see if I can. All right. First, I'm gonna pinch off the fuel line with this hopefully that'll stop the fuel from coming out. This thing doesn't have like a petcock, so you can't. All right. I'm gonna go to the other side now. So here's the fuel filter. You can see some stuff in the fuel filter here. A little bit of rust in there, so it is working. Yeah, so all this gas is pretty orange looking. It's gonna probably end up having to drain this whole tank out. This gas looks terrible. Let's drain this gas out, I guess. There, I think that's the last of it. So yeah, the whole tank was pretty tainted. Okay, so new fuel filter going on. And I just gotta figure out. Okay. So they're pretty good. Just gonna tuck that in there like so. So it's the next day now, and been thinking about this situation here with this bike. I'm not sure what to do. I'm at two minds, whether just to put fuel in it, put a little bit of fuel cleaner in the fuel and hope for the best, or take the whole thing apart and clean them out again. I kind of want to put some seafoam down here and a little bit of new fuel and see if I can get this to pump some clean fuel out, and hope that you know, that the rust problem will fade away. I'm hoping it's just like the initial first time I fueled it up and it's, you know, then that's all it was. But you know, what my gut's telling me, it's probably more than that, but I don't know. I'm gonna put a little bit of fuel in here, a little bit of seafoam, maybe a little dab of two-stroke oil, and we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do here. So Wish me luck here. Got some of this sea foam. It's good for cleaning injectors and carbs and stuff, and stabilizes fuels and does all kinds of miracle things. I'm just going to put a bit down here because I'm not going to put a whole lot of gas in here. But I'll drop a little bit of this in. Yeah, something like that. And then this is just a little bit of 2-stroke oil. I'm just going to put a little dab will do. And then add some good old-fashioned gasoline. And don't want to put too much in because they might get all tainted. I'll have to throw it away anyway. There. There we go. Let's see what we get for fuel out of here. That's the first little bit. Let's see what else comes out there. Yeah, it's much cleaner. But I did just put it in, so it's when it sits in there is what. I'd probably run on that, no problem. So I plug everything in and see if it runs. And you know, and then the next time I go to start it, I can pull this off and see what comes out. I think before I go and take everything all apart again, I think that's what I'm going to do now. That one. I just got to do the line on the other side. Yeah, on this side I had this little piece of bar plugged in here just to block it off. Let's just see if I can get some clean fuel out of this one. I figured there'd be some red stuff in the line. Here, let's look at it. It's definitely flowing good. And I'll plug this one in. And you should hear the fuel pump pressure up. Oh, now they're overflowing. And now they're not stopping. Hold on. Now they're stuck. Both stuck. Fussy little things, eh? So now I think they just needed a little tap there. Yeah. You should hear that. Yeah, that one's still leaking a bit. Come on. This one's still leaking a bit. Come on. I don't see any leaking out. So I had to evacuate the shop. It was getting too smoky and full of exhaust. So it's all clear now. I think what was happening last time is when I first charged the carbs up with fuel, the floats didn't shut the fuel off, and I think some of it poured down into the combustion chamber, and then it was, you know, super flooded. And I think that's why it was so hard to start. And I couldn't get it to idle and stuff, and I think it'll start easier now as long as that part is cleared up. And but I think there's going to be more work to do here. I'm just going to try it one more time here and see what happens here. So those should, yeah, still pumping out too much fuel. I think we've got a problem think I'm gonna have to take the carbs back off again. Yeah, still leaking. All right, I'm going to end the video there. I think I got to take the carbs back off again. Now I'm getting too much fuel, and it's overfilling and coming out the back, and well, especially on this side here. I did kind of adjust the float a little bit, so maybe I adjusted it too much or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's just a whole other ordeal getting those off again. So, but we did hear it run, so it wasn't running before. So it's just the way it goes sometimes. You know, it's frustrating, but these old bikes, you know, you just got to keep trying, and eventually you'll get there. So anyways, I want to thank you for watching, and hope you like this video, and we'll see you again real soon. Center Stand Mechanics out.